Vince McMahon is launching an entertainment company. Plus, TNA's Chris Bey has issued a statement following his emergency surgery. And ECW and TNA stars make WWE returns on NXT. Amid all the legal issues currently facing him and the allegations that continue to come forward, Vince McMahon is launching an entertainment company. This comes from PW Insider today.
Yeah, they say multiple sources with knowledge of the situation have confirmed that McMahon has been in the process of setting up what has been described as a new entertainment hub company that would financially back, develop and produce film and TV productions. The belief among those we've spoken with is that there are no plans for this company to launch anything similar to WWE, and they would instead focus on fiction and non-fiction projects.
PWInsider.com also told that several WWE alumni are already working with McMahon to get the company prepped with the idea of officially unveiling it if/once the legal issues are resolved. These names include Brad Bloom, who's WWE's former chief operating officer, and Kristen Prouty, who was WWE's liaison to Hollywood. And both of those let go from the company in the wake of Vince McMahon's departure. I believe Brad actually resigned as opposed to being let go. And also, it's worth pointing out, PW Insider say that Kevin Dunn is not involved in this project, according to their sources. They've been told, have PW Insider, that the company is expected to be based out of Los Angeles when it officially launches. Obviously, no announcement date for when that launches. But I can't say I'm massively surprised that Vince McMahon is finding some new business to get into.
Yeah, he seems to be, it's like a compulsion, isn't it? He can't be away from the entertainment world, I suppose, even regardless of what's going on in his private life, which is considerable legal battles at the moment. It's a strange one, isn't it? I find it very vague the way they've said, not PW Insider's fault, but the way they've been told that it's not going to be like WWE, it's going to focus on fiction and non-fiction productions. That's so wide-ranging. That could be anything. Fiction, but also non-fiction as well.
It's the idea that basically that's them saying it won't be a wrestling company.
Yeah, right.
Because we know for a long time from Vince McMahon's previous ventures, he was so keen to find something away from pro wrestling, away from the thing that made him, not unlike P.T. Barnum. He wants to find something that isn't the thing that made him and try his hand at other things. And that has had some mixed to awful results over the years. We're talking the WBF, the Bodybuilding Federation, the XFL as well, WWE movies, or WWE film, that whole thing there where WWE stars were making movies for a long while. There's been numerous projects that he's been tied into that always seem to fall to the wayside when they're not wrestling. So it'd be interesting to see how this one shapes up. Again, it's all based if/once, to quote PW Insider, these legal issues are resolved, and they are far from that. The current state with the Janelle Grant case is that it is on hold whilst Vince McMahon is investigated by the FBI. And there's obviously been more allegations coming out this week with the Ring Boy scandal once again coming to the fore. So whether or not we actually see this company truly come to light is anybody's guess.
Yeah, that's the big question really, isn't it? Not so much what it'll look like. It's like we'll cross that bridge if we come to it. But first of all, is it even going to get off the ground?
We'll have more details when we know more at cultaholic.com. This week, Chris Bey has been in all of our thoughts after he suffered an injury on Sunday at the TNA Impact tapings in Detroit. A neck breaker during a tag match against the Hardys, teaming with Ace Austin, left him unable to move in the ring. He was stretchered from the ring. He had emergency surgery that night and had MRI work done the following day. And we've seen numerous wrestlers from TNA and beyond sharing the message, pray for Chris Bey. And we've had our first statement from Chris Bey issued via TNA.
Yes, he says, I just want to take a few moments to extend my heartfelt thanks and deepest appreciation for so much and to so many over the past few days. From everyone at TNA Wrestling to the incredible medical staff here in Detroit to family, friends and fans worldwide. I know you've been praying for my full recovery from the in-ring accident this past Sunday. Monday was day one for me on this journey, which I know will be long and challenging. Thanks again for the love and support, and please keep the prayers coming.
We said nothing but our love to Chris Bey on a full and speedy recovery. Let's talk NXT from last night.
Go on then.
We're on our road to the 2200 arena.
Yes.
2300 arena? 2200 arena.
2200.
Sorry, I was 100 metres down the road.
The ECW arena.
The former ECW arena.
Yes. And various things happened on last night's NXT to set up things for that show, including, as you might have heard Tom say in the headlines at the start of the video, some ECW phases. Rhea Ripley also was one of the people appearing on last night's NXT, but it didn't end too well for her. She took a beating at the hands of Liv Morgan and Raquel Rodriguez and was found bloodied in that NXT parking lot, that pesky parking lot.
They need better security in that parking lot. Quite a violent beating it looked like Rhea Ripley had taken. There was blood and everything.
This would suggest to me that maybe we are finally on the last stretch of her feud with Liv Morgan, because she's received this kind of severe beating. It's the start of her finally rising up to come back and beat Liv to win back the title.
Seems that way, doesn't it? I wonder whether, as Rhea Ripley lay there in the NXT parking lot, bloodied and battered, and went, you know what I'm going to do? I'm going to buy a ticket to fly to Saudi Arabia.
Yeah.
And I'm going to turn up at a crucial moment in Liv Morgan's match and cost her. A la AJ Styles, who was so angry with LA Knight that time that he flew all the way to Australia just to attack him in the Elimination Chamber.
The weird thing is about the build to these two Crown Jewel matches for these two Crown Jewel championships is that because neither person's real titles are on the line in either of those matches, everyone's focusing instead on who could cost any of these people in their match. Tiffany Stratton, for example, on the Nia Jax side of things. Rhea Ripley here. Goldberg with Gunther. Kevin Owens with Cody. It just depends who has the desire to travel to the other side of the world to screw. Kevin Owens is already there. He's already on the card, so it could well be him.
It's all the periphery as opposed to the vajazzle that everybody is focusing on ahead of that match. But yeah, busy night for NXT. Outside of that, we saw Delta make her in-ring debut against Sol Ruca, making very quick work of Sol. And then afterwards, she was surrounded by Fatal Influence and Cora Jade and Roxanne Perez. She had some backup in Kalani Jordan, Stephanie Vaquer, Julia, and making her return to the NXT shed for the first time in a while, Jordynne Grace.
Yes, just after losing her Knockouts World Championship to Masha Slamovich at Bound for Glory, Jordynne Grace, well, NXT are wasting no time in getting her back in, and she seems to be an absolute shoo-in for a WWE contract once her TNA deal expires.
And brace yourself for a lot of shoo-in, because we're getting a 10-woman tag at the ECW arena next week. It's all 10 of those women in a 10-woman tag. This one's in the bag.
God, I hope it doesn't spiral out of control. That would be terrible.
In Philadelphia, where rules are very much controlled and contained, and there'll be no naughtiness in the ECW arena.
Matthew said something nice about Philadelphia last week on the podcast.
Oh, wow.
He always, for some reason, whenever Philadelphia is mentioned, he's been before, and he always goes, "Oh, it's a horrible city. I hate it." He hates Philadelphia.
He had one bad experience, and therefore the entire city is awful.
But finally, I asked him if he tried a Philly cheesesteak, and he went, "Oh, it was absolutely lovely, yes." So Matthew doesn't hate all of Philly, just he likes the food.
I want to go for a pint with the Blue Meanie in Philly. Like, because Blue Meanie, the name of the pub escapes me, but he's got this wonderful local pub that I think, if I lived in Philly, that would be my local.
Fair enough.
And I feel like a goal for next year. I've been very lucky and ticked off a lot of things from my bucket list for this year. I think next year I want to go have a pint with the Meanie in his local.
That's like your Ribera Steakhouse.
That is my. I think having a pint in the Blue Meanie's local is my Ribera Steakhouse.
Oh, fantastic.
That'd be a nice thing to happen. Let's make it happen, Brian. Come on, Brian. Let's go. But staying in Philly, as we will be next week, we had a tag match confirmed for next week's NXT in Philadelphia.
Yes, set up at the end of Halloween Havoc, first of all. We saw Bubba Ray Dudley save Trick Williams from a post-match beatdown, and it has led to Bubba teaming with Trick to face Ethan Page and Ridge Holland in the ECW arena. Bubba turned down the offer originally, but after a verbal and physical showdown with Ridge and Ethan, he changed his mind and the match was set. Because someone is teaming with Bubba Ray Dudley, even if it's not Devon, the rule is you have to do the diving headbutt. So do we think Trick will do the dive? I think he'll probably do the dive.
Of course he will. Yeah. What's up? And then Trick get the tables. It's going to be a thing. Bubba T's putting the tie-dye back on.
Okay.
In
classic
the
ECW stuff.
Yeah, getting the glasses and the tie-dye. I think we've seen the camo Dudleys for a long time. Give us tie-dye and glasses Dudleys.
That would be cool.
I'd love that.
And Trick enjoys dressing up, so he'd probably get involved as well.
I could see him in the dungarees.
He was Trick Willy Wonka at Halloween Havoc. And he even did the forward roll down the ramp. He did the thing and then, fantastic. asked, Booker T was ecstatic.
He can whoop that trick, can Trick Williams, I tell thee what. We also got a video from Francine last night on socials revealing that she will also be part of NXT next week. And, get this, Tony D'Angelo took a mysterious phone call. Somebody's going to be confronting him and the family next week.
Yeah.
Oh, we know it is, don't we?
Well, I think you're very confident, and I would suggest you've got a good idea of it. Tom here in the notes has put, it's got to be Little Guido and the FBI.
It's got to be Little Guido and the FBI.
It must be the full-blooded Italians, yes.
Then we're going to, do you know what? We're going to get this. We have the opportunity to create this ultimate Italian mafia supergroup in wrestling with the family, with the full-blooded Italians. And you know what? Let's send Big Vito there as well.
Okay, why not?
Let's get Big Vito in there as well. But I think Little Guido for the FBI.
I think that's a good shout.
That'd be lovely, wouldn't it?
It could well be. Yeah.
It would be. I'd like to see that as well. And after making his return to WWE, after making his WWE return to WWE rather, Rob Van Dam was on NXT last night, hanging out with the greatest general manager, Ava. Interestingly, obviously don't give too much away about the podcast this week, but obviously with the shenanigans with Rhea getting beaten up, does that question Ava's authority?
Oh, potentially.
Because I know a big part of your general manager rankings is who keeps a tight ship, and that was quite a loose ship last night for Ava.
Yeah, it depends how loose the other ships have been. I'll have to look at it all on one canvas,
in one
I
port.
Suppose. Yes, because Adam Pearce has just lost control of Raw. Bloody Adam Pearce. We'll have to wait and see if Ava can cling on to the top of her rankings. It's a tiny bit of the podcast. I'll just go.
It's a major bit of the podcast.
At some point, I'll remember and go, Joel, by the way, flash up the thing. And then the thing flashes up.
Massive
the league
part for
table.
me.
Huge.
But it'll be. But Rob Van Dam was chatting with Ava last night. Said he was keen to compete at the ECW arena next week. And at the end of the show, we had Wesley and Javon Evans having a scrap, broken up by Ava. And then Rob Van Dam just sort of saunters into the shot and goes, "Hey, I know what I want to do next week. See you in Philly," and then leaves again.
So do you reckon that is a three-way dance?
Three-way dance.
It's an ECW class. They kind of popularized it in American wrestling, didn't they? I think they officially did.
Oh, yeah, they did. Yeah. Sadly, I missed a bit of foreshadowing. You might have caught it. We missed a bit of foreshadowing because I think it was a Halloween Havoc where we had a shot of Javon Evans backstage. His locker room door was open and there was a picture of Rob Van Dam in his locker room door.
I thought that was just character touch for Javon Evans. Look how he's a big fan of her.
Foreshadowing.
Triple H, Shawn Michaels, you've got us again.
Chef Michaels, you have cooked up another fine feast.
Yes.
He's cooking up Philly cheesesteaks next week at the ECW arena. Are you twitching tonight?
I believe so. Myself and Owen should be twitching. Twitch.tv/Cultaholic at 6 p.m. Owen was off last week, so it's been a bit of a delay, but now we're back and ready to maybe win some matches. It's not looking great this time.
The Swans will fly tonight at twitch.tv/Cultaholic. And since it is Crown Jewel week, it's all about 9 pitches on a Wednesday.
Yes, it is. Myself, Ross and Andrew will be doing 9 pitches. Actually, is Ross in today? Myself, Andrew, and someone will be doing 9 pitches.
Andrew, and insert name here.
Well, obviously, as we said on the other news, Ross got engaged recently. So I don't even know if he's in today.
Might still be celebrating.
He might still be. It'll be me, Andrew, and maybe Ross or someone doing 9 pitches. I really should have a handle on this for Crown Jewel, and that'll be up on the channel later on today, I believe.
Predictions already on the channel for Crown Jewel. Live reactions with Adam and Andrew, and you'll have the What Happened At and the WTF moments exclusive to Patreon after Crown Jewel as well. And for the latest wrestling news at any time, you can check out cultaholic.com. Stay safe. Love you. Bye.